Hey guys, LadyLibertyStacker. Today is Friday the 13th, March 13th. And actually, we're at home today. We're probably going to be at home all day. And I think they've just said on the news that we should be self-quarantining. I don't know. But anyway, I don't know when you guys are going to be watching this because I have debating when I'm going to put it up. But anyways, this is a project I've been working on. I have a couple of clips that come right after this one that I did in January. This was a Food Network skillet. This has been totally stripped down, and it has been sprayed with some cooking oil spray just to keep it from rusting. I'm going to wire wheel this just to make the surface a little smoother so it's easier to maintain. Wiping it down with a paper towel or the lint-free blue towels, Scott towels, when I season this. Right now, this thing attracts a lot of lint, and we need to get it smooth. So anyway, I have a couple of clips that follow, and these have been in lye for 2 months. Now, lye is not as effective when it's cold out, but lye also does not damage cast iron. It just basically keeps them in a holding pattern when you're too busy to work on them. So anyway, that's the Food Network skillet. It's probably comparable to a size 2. Well, that one was soaking in lye when I was out sourcing in January. I also found a new, it's probably comparable to this. If you look at them side by side, they're pretty much the same size. This one might be, on the left, might be a little larger. But this is a Nestle Tool House. Has a date of 2019 on it. This is a promotional skillet when they were selling their recipe and their cookie dough. It came wrapped, and the thrift store didn't have a price on it. I think they sold it to me for 99 cents. So I said, hey, why not? Again, it's too rough to actually use, and it's going to grab the lint. You can actually see it's already grabbed the paper towel it's been sitting on down here. So anyway, I'm going to show you guys after you see the first 2 clips of what this guy started out looking like. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you, without me talking, me wire wheeling them just to try to smooth up the surfaces, and then I'm going to season them up. I'm going to use my drill. It's a Black & Decker 6-amp drill. I have a 1/4 bit here, and this is a 3-inch wire brush. And it's been used, so we'll see how effective it is now. And I'm also going to use, let me grab the other one. This is a 2-inch to get into the smaller spaces. And we're just going to smooth it up. I don't recommend doing this on vintage collectible cast iron. So if you saw my title, there's nothing to worry about here. It's either this or I don't use these suckers, and they're going to be left out for the metal pickers. Okay? So it's as simple as that. Anyway, I'm going to cut this off right now, and I'm going to go to work on the skillets, and you'll see that after the next couple of clips. All right, be back. Hey guys, LadyLibertyStacker. Today is Thursday, January the 9th, 2020, and I just cleaned this skillet. I had used it at breakfast, and then I went ahead and just cleaned it off, and with hot water and my scrub pad and so forth, and dried it off with a paper towel. And you can see little bits of lint there from the paper towel, little bits of lint back here from the paper towel, and it's really annoying, really is. So, and then you turn it over here, and there's some little bit of lint right there. And it is perfectly nonstick. You add fat, you add heat, and then you add your food, and it's nonstick. But cleaning is a pain in the butt. And you're not going to use a skillet if it's a pain to cook in. Cooking isn't really that big of a deal, but cleanup is more of a headache, only because you have to flick that lint off. And I like it smooth. If it's smooth, you don't even have to worry about it. You can use regular paper towels. You can use the Scott shop towels here. I use that mainly for wiping off excess seasoning. But paper towel or even a regular cotton dish towel will suffice. But you're not going to have little bits of lint on this skillet. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to strip this, putting it in my lye tank. When the old seasoning comes off, we'll wire wheel it. And then I'll clean it off good, dry it off, and then we'll go ahead and re-season it. It'll be a lot easier to use. This is about the size of a number 2. It was gifted to me. It's not valuable. It's not collectible. It's just a Food Network little gift that they had along with their recipe books and such. All right, guys, I will be back once it is stripped. Okay guys, about 12 hours later, I just removed my little skillet, my Food Network skillet out of the lye tank right here, which I keep covered. I'm going to go ahead and put a glove back on so I can show you what it looks like. I don't think I've stripped it enough, but I just let it soak in there. Just rinsed it off with a garden hose. And some of the, you can see some of the seasoning is coming off, but they really seasoned this sucker. They really did. And you can see, it's hard to see out in the light of the garage. You can start to see the gray speckle through the pebbly surface. But I'm going to go ahead and put it back in the, let me see if I can move over into the light and you can see better. Let me see. You can actually see, I'll move it close up. You can kind of see there the gray peeking through the black. But I'm going to go ahead and put it back in. It needs probably a good 24 hours, sometimes longer, and then we give it a scrub down, and then we're going to wire wheel it. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and put it back into the lye bath here, and go ahead and put that in. And there it is, and I just make sure to wear your gloves and all that kind of stuff, and I'll be back. You can see, smoothed it out a bit. Okay guys, I also want to remind you that you may want a face mask to keep the flying particles away from your mask. The kind you can get at Home Depot or Lowe's is fine. I also wear these shooting range earmuffs, and it keeps the sound tolerable. You don't want to do wire wheeling if you don't have your ears and your face protected. So anyway, that's what I've been wearing. I just want to show you, it's a little smoother. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be smoother, so it's going to be easier to season. And once you have several coats of seasoning on, this is going to be much easier to cook with. And I've gotten all the last bit of seasoning, most of the last bit of seasoning off of this. We're going to give it one final shot. You can see there's a little bit down there near the base, and there's another little attachment that I have to get. I actually might be able to try it with this. There's another thinner one that's good for small spaces. It's just like a very thin brush, not a very thick one like I've been using. So anyway, this one's almost done, and we're going to do the other one, so I'm not going to talk in the next clip.
and back over along the side, so not a big deal. But you have to contain it somewhere, and it's kind of too chilly to do it outside. So, just drying this off real good. I'll probably run it through the dishwasher anyway as a precaution. And meanwhile, though, I'm going to go ahead and rinse off these skillets, and then I'm going to dry them off with a towel real fast and spray it down with cooking oil so they don't rust. Actually, that's warm water. I don't want to do that. So, when you get it down to the bare metal, you really have to watch that. So, I'm going to grab a paper towel, and we're going to go ahead and wipe it off, and you can see how just that a little bit of wire wheeling will make it a lot easier to clean. That's not completely smooth, but it's smooth enough that it's usable now. So, anyway, we're going to go ahead and put it down on the counter here. Spray it down. Go ahead and turn on the light so you guys can see what I'm doing. You can see how all that black came off. We're going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to give it a good rinse down with water. You just want these to be usable. And the whole idea is so I can make Egg McMuffins for my hubby and myself. And if you have any other type of skillets that are non-collectible, non-vintage, and you want to try this on, not a big deal. I'm not going to resell these anyway. So we're going to go ahead and just wipe it down. And it's not collecting any of the lint. You can see the skillet there. And I didn't get it perfect. There's one spot I missed, but oops. I'm not going to worry about it. I am just not going to worry about it. So I'm going to be over on the countertop here. And I'm going to go ahead and just give it a quick spray with olive oil cooking spray or canola cooking spray. This is a non-GMO. And just it'll protect our skillets while we do the seasoning process. Okay guys, I am back. I am going to go ahead and set the oven. We're going to go ahead and season these guys, and we're going to put it at 200 degrees. And once it goes off, there we go. Once it goes off, I'm going to stick these guys in, face down on the rack, for 15 minutes just to gradually warm them up. Once they've warmed up, I will then give a coat of seasoning, starting on the top, then turning it over and doing the other side. And once I've given it a coat of Crisco, which I use over here, Crisco, I wipe it off again with my shop towels, and I put it back in the oven. Once they're back in the oven, we put up the oven to 300 degrees. And because it needs to warm up, I set it for about 18 minutes. Let them heat up, pull them back out, wipe off any excess seasoning that has pooled. Go ahead and turn that light on so you can see better. And then we put them back in at 450 degrees for an hour, and that's what I do for one coat of seasoning, and I'm going to do that 3 times with these guys, and they'll be ready to use. And they'll be dry the first time. They won't shed any of that black stuff the first time I go and use them, if you let it cure and dry the same way. Now these are my Scott towels. These are the shop towels, and I get these at Walmart. The ones at Home Depot are not the same brand. So I take 2 sheets, I fold them over like such, and I fold it again, and you can get a number of uses out of this by doing it this way. And that's what I'm going to apply the seasoning with my cotton rag, and I'm going to wipe it off with this. So there we be. All right, I'll be back when they're ready to be seasoned. Okay, the timer's gone off. Our skillets have been in it for at least 15 minutes at 200 degrees. This is to warm them up so they have a chance to heat up. I'm going to go ahead and grab a net to grab it out of here. This one is actually tough because it's not going to work. Okay. It's going to get stuck on the rack because the handle's so small. It's a small skillet. Oops. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back, and this guy, it took a little bit of a fight to get him out of the oven because he's so small and slid beneath between the oven rack slots. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get some seasoning on this, and this rag is going to be spent once we're done with this. Okay, that's the first coat, and we're going to go ahead and wipe it down. You always have this residue though, no matter what. That's why you need to season it several times until when you wipe your shop towels like this, they come clear. Alright, so Let's just make sure we get enough on there. Just make sure. This is the only time you're going to put the seasoning on, is at this stage of the game. Because when you put them back at 300 degrees for about 18 minutes, to let this partially bake on without, you know, so you have a chance to smooth it out before you put it back in at 450 degrees for an hour. Okay, that's good. And now we're going to go ahead and put another part of our towel. Okay, here we go. This is where you need your oven mitts here to do this. I will link it below in the description where I got these. I recently found an Amazon seller that was selling them, so that was a good thing. Okay, we're going to go ahead and wipe that all down. We're going to do a minimum of 3 coats on these before they're going to be ready to test. So that's good. We're going to go ahead and put it back in the oven. And pull the rack out here. So just kind of lay it on its side like that so I can easily get it off. Then this one is the same deal. So we're going to go ahead and put that back in. And we're going to fold it over. We're going to do this. Go ahead and adjust this down so you can see. And we're going to do because I'm on this perforated plastic mat, I always do the inside, the cooking surface first, so I don't have those dots on one side. I'm going to go ahead and a lot of residue that came off of these. They put a lot of seasoning on these skillets. Unbelievable. So I'm going to go ahead and get that off. Do it again on the handle. Wipe it off. And I'm going to do it one more time on the cooking surface. And take an unused part and go ahead and wipe it back off again. You will see this residue if you do this, but you got to rinse, rinse, rinse. And then as part of the seasoning process, you'll see some more, and it'll eventually come off. But this process at least 3 times to season. I'm going to go ahead and try to find another part of this rag, and this rag is going to be put out next week for the trash. I'm going to get a clean part of it, and we're going to start it over on the back. I'm going to put it on the back. And these are going to be so nice to use once they're done. And you can do this with any modern lodge, pancake griddle, and any of those types of lodge cast iron skillets. Just makes it so much easier to use. Gotta go ahead and get my oven mitt back on. This is my old one. I don't have my new ones out yet. This thing is beat up, but I can use it until it drops. Okay, we're gonna do it one more time on the back surface. Just make sure it's all the seasoning is in there. Wipe it on and wipe it back off. Just make sure we got everything covered. Normally I don't do 2 coats like this, but with the amount of dust, that black particles that came off, see, that's a lot better, a lot better. We're going to go ahead and do a second layer. Okay, here it goes. And you can see how it's not catching any lint either. That's the primary goal. It's not going to be completely smooth. It's just going to make it much easier to use. Okay, guys? So we're going to go ahead and put this back in. And there, just like that. Okay, now I'm going to be back once they've been in there for about 18 minutes at 300 degrees. Okay, the timer just went off. So we're going to try to get our guy out of here. And the oven's a lot hotter. And we're going to go ahead and grab that. Stick that back in there. You just have to position the skillets a little differently when they're this small. Okay, so now we're going to see if there's anything that we need to smooth over. And brand new towel. Actually, it's a cotton rag from an old t-shirt. Old t-shirts make the perfect seasoning rags. You can see how silvery it looks. And I see a lot of them on eBay that look this way, and I know they've been wire wheeled. Oh yeah. So we're going to go ahead and just rub it back down. And that's ready to go back in. It's silvery looking, and it'll be, should be a little bit more bronze when we bring it back out of the oven. So go ahead and position the camera so you can see. So we're going to go ahead and do it like that so we can grab it. Okay, this one, same thing. Gotta be very careful there. Okay, same thing here. And we're gonna go ahead and wipe it off. Any extra seasoning that may have pooled, you're not really gonna tell on the sand cast finish. But a smooth vintage piece, if you're reseasoning that, sometimes the seasoning will pool to certain areas of the skillet. Now this one's still grabbing a little bit of the towel, but not as bad as it was. But I think I can live with it until enough layers of seasoning are on this. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put them back in the oven. Okay, I'm gonna pull the rack out. Normally I just slide them in, but gotta position it in such a way. You can see it there. I'm wearing this, I'm trying to show you. So slide it gently in, and now what we're gonna go ahead and do, I'm gonna move that. That's something I cooked with this morning. And we're gonna go ahead and set the oven for 450 degrees. See what I'm doing back here. 450 degrees. I'm going to set our timer for a minute, 1 hour and 5 minutes. That way it gives the oven sufficient time to heat up. You really want it to go beyond the smoke point. You want to bake that seasoning on your skillet so it's nice and dry. Definitely. That's the best way to do it. Okay, there it is. So they're in the oven now for an hour and 5 minutes. And I'll be back when the first coat is done. Okay guys, I'm back. This is with 1 layer of seasoning on. This is the Tool House skillet, and you can see that it is a nice and bronzy color. That's what your skillets definitely should look like, especially if you wire wheel them, but they do look usually bronze, silver before they're seasoned, and then bronze the first time, and they get browner as you go through. But these look fantastic. I'm going to do another couple of coats, and I will be back with the final one. Actually, you know what? I may post this now. And when I do Egg McMuffins and these things when they're done, I'll let you guys see that. So, but this is what they look like. A lot smoother. They're still a little warm. They were in for an hour and I let them cool off for 15 minutes. But I'm going to begin the seasoning process a couple more times. You don't need to see that. I'll be back when they've had 3 or 4 coats on, and I'll cook some Egg McMuffins in them. So, all right, guys. Anyway, thanks for watching. And before I sign off, this is the mitt for the cast iron handle. You can see that it's really worn. These are the new ones I just picked up. There's a pair I got from an Amazon seller, and these are actually from Lodge. You can get them from Lodge, but I think I found these from an Amazon seller with free shipping, and I'm trying to remember. They weren't too expensive, so I can link that below in the description if you want to pick these up. These are a godsend for working with cast iron. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I will be back with another video sometime in the near future. Okay, take care, everybody. Give me a thumb up, leave a nice comment below, and go make it a great day.